We are basically at the halfway point of September, and honestly, the Wild Robot is coming up pretty fast, and I couldn't be more excited for it. But one thing that's been on my mind for a while about this movie's specific release, and basically just track records of previous movies, is the next Dreamworks movie trailer or teaser going to drop the same week as the Wild Robot? And that next upcoming movie is the Dogman movie. And it's not like a movie that's coming out in like March or sometime in the spring. This movie is coming out in January, which really isn't that far away. And if anything, slight marketing should start picking up for this movie, because we've got plenty of movies that are releasing in February, even April for.
I am placing blocks and shit cause I'm in fucking Minecraft.
And as I was in the process of, coming up with this video, just as I'm coming up with it, I find out the Dogman movie trailer is officially done, with a runtime of 2 minutes and 25 seconds.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about.
Now, if the hype train hasn't begun before, now it's starting to definitely chug now. So, we now know that the trailer is, done and officially releasing soon. Where I'm going to guess we can probably get this is the week of the Wild Robot, which isn't really that far away. This upcoming week, Transformers 1 releases, and 1 week after that, the Wild Robot releases. So, to be fair, a lot of trailers either go for a Monday or Tuesday trailer release date, so we can expect it then. But everything regarding the movie has still, been up in the air. Although we've had a little bit of rumblings, which is why I've wanted to get back on this topic. I really haven't talked about the Dogman movie in quite a while. So I wanted to, 1, talk about this upcoming trailer, and 2, talk about some little news that we've gotten about this movie, because, it actually could look like it turned out really well. Like a few months ago, probably like the beginning of summer, we got our first look at the art book for Dogman, and wow, it looks like, well, it's art, but it looks really well and identical to the Dogman book itself. And to go off of that, you see that you have Dogman picking up a box of little Petey, and you can tell that it's going to be going for some emotional beats. And we know one thing, thankfully. Dogman should not have a voice going alongside with him. We don't know this 100%, but there's a 99.9% chance that Dogman will not be speaking in this movie. He didn't speak in the books, he shouldn't speak in the movie. It's just, no. So far, we only know that one voice actor is attached to this. Well, at the moment, of course, there's a cast, but we only know one confirmed voice actor, and that is Pete Davidson. Most likely, everyone's been pointing towards him voicing Petey. Like, we've seen voices that he's had more recently, a kind of animated voice was in Transformers The Rise of Beasts. He played Mirage. It's just, a lot of his voice roles kind of feel like it would match Petey, which I think that works the best. I don't see him, obviously his Dogman, that's out of the question, hopefully, because he's not going to have a voice. But I think, that kind of fits the role, and if I'm wrong, who knows who he'll play. But I think that is just the right way to go. And we've had a plot synopsis since, last time we talked about this. When a human police officer and a dog are injured together on the job, a life-saving surgery changes the course of history. When Dogman is born, Dogman must protect and serve as he dogly pursues the feline Petey the cat. But the unexpected arrival of little Petey changes their dynamic. Well, this is kind of a simple plot to go with the Dogman movie, and it makes sense. This, follows everything, going on with the books. Although, I obviously know there's going to be a few changes in between, which, that also happened with the Captain Underpants movie. So, one thing I'm glad is happening is this movie probably will follow the same art style of the Captain Underpants movie, based on what we've seen from the art book and just some other things. But I could be wrong. It might take a more stylized approach, but it's probably going to fall in line as well. One thing I'm really curious about is that George and Harold even return in this movie? We haven't heard anything from Kevin Hart or any of the, cast from the original Captain Underpants movie, but, they could be in it, just haven't said anything. Or, they might be mentioned, but may not be given speaking roles. We really don't know, but it would really be cool to see them return and, kind of connect the two universes together, because Dogman is a comic written by George and Harold. It's not taking place in the universe of Captain Underpants. But you never know, things could change. And while things have been pretty quiet about the movie, it has its fan base, and I can tell that people are going to very much support this movie, and everything is kind of falling on it as well. If this movie does well, we'll probably see Dogman again in a sequel. And if it does really, really well, I feel like Dreamworks will reconsider the likes of Captain Underpants, possibly returning for either some sort of, spin-off or just a full-on sequel itself, which would be really cool to see. The movie itself doesn't really have any competition. Picking a January release date actually was pretty surprising for some people. Dreamworks doesn't really tread into this territory. The last time they did this was with Kung Fu Panda 3, I think. Maybe. That was the last time I remember, at least. But it kind of more follows a February release date, because it does release on January 31st. So it's not really a January movie, but most of its earnings are going to come from February. And even then, there's still not a lot of competition anyway. They do have a new Captain America movie coming out, but those are two demographics that I don't think will clash with each other. And if anything, if Dogman did release in the beginning of January, then it probably would clash with the likes of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and also Mufasa the Lion King. Also, slight side note, I talked about it in a community post, but rest in peace, James L. Jones. It's really, really sad that, he's, if anything, he is probably one of the most legendary voice actors of our time, and it's insane the amount of, he's had over 200 plus roles. Most iconic definitely have to go to Darth Vader and Mufasa. I don't want to bring the mood down, but it's something I feel that should be addressed, and I know everyone was talking about this week. But going back onto the topic we were talking about, it's good that Dogman is not releasing at the beginning of January. I think it's in a pretty good spot. It won't really have that much competition, and book adaptations really don't do bad with Dreamworks, especially if there's a lot going for it. The Bad Guys did fairly well, so fairly well that it's getting a sequel. We have The Wild Robot coming out, which has a lot of support coming behind it. One, it has a pretty stacked cast. Two, the movie just looks genuinely good, period. And it's getting insane reviews. Some people calling this one of, or the best Dreamworks movie that has come out, which is really insane to wrap my head around. That is just insane. So Dreamworks is starting to go back to, it's Dreamworks is just an inconsistent company. You could get one of their worst movies ever and then get a complete masterpiece. Some even call this movie better than Inside Out 2, which is a really high bar to set. But Dogman following right after, it makes sense for the trailer to drop, right around The Wild Robot, have something to play before that movie. That's just how the system works. With Kung Fu Panda 4 coming out all those months back, the Wild Robot teaser first came out, and that's what played before it. It just makes sense. The marketing campaign really has to pick up because, it comes out the month after December, and all the movies that are probably coming out in January, February, kind of March, should have a trailer out by now, and Dogman is a movie that is creeping up very fast. And I couldn't be more excited for this. both me and Crazy Gamer Inc. have been talking about this movie for a very long time. We were probably the first ones to even bring it up since it was first announced. And it's really, really gonna be cool to see this all come full circle. And, you know, probably never gonna happen, but it would be so funny if me and him pulled up to the premiere. If only one could dream. But I think that the Dogman movie will be just a celebration of Dave Pilkey's, you know, journey across the years. Captain Underpants was already great, and I can't wait to see how Dreamworks brings Dogman to the big screen. And hopefully this trailer is amazing. And, you know, that's all I have to say. The Dreamworks hype train has picked up, not only for the Wild Robot, but for the Dogman movie. So I'm very, very interested to see how this is all going to play out. But what do you think? Are you excited for the Dogman trailer? Are you a little worried about it? Let me know down in the comments, and I will catch you guys in the next video.